They say success comes with sacrifice, but no one ever tells you what happens when the sacrifice is your own family. This is my story, and if you stick around, you'll understand why I had to make the hardest decision of my life, and why I still ask myself if it was the right one. I grew up in a small town in Nigeria, Ibadan. My family wasn't rich, but we had enough. Enough to laugh, enough to share, and most importantly, enough to dream. From the age of 7, I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. Not just any filmmaker. I wanted to direct movies that would shake the world, make people feel things, cry, scream, laugh. I would write scripts in old notebooks and use our broken-down VCD player as my imaginary camera. My parents, they thought it was cute at first, but as I got older, reality started catching up. My dad wanted me to study engineering. Real work, he said. Film won't put food on your table. He wasn't wrong, but I wasn't letting go of my dream that easily. When I got into university, I agreed to study electrical engineering, just to make my parents happy. But behind the scenes, I was attending film workshops, volunteering on student movie sets, even writing scripts under a fake name. At one point, I was juggling school, a part-time job, and overnight shoots, all without my family knowing. Then came the big break. A short film I directed on a friend's borrowed camera went viral on Twitter. It got picked up by an indie production house in Lagos. Suddenly, I was offered an internship, a real one, with a popular Nollywood director. All expenses paid. All I had to do was move to Lagos and drop out of school. I remember the night I told my parents. My mother cried. My father didn't say a word, he just walked out. And my younger brother looked at me like I had betrayed the entire family. After everything we've done for you, we sent you to school to study. Get a good job and take care of this family, my mother said. You want to throw all that away for what? Camera? My father didn't speak to me for 3 days. I was torn. On one hand, here was everything I'd ever wanted, sitting on a silver platter. On the other, my family, the people who raised me, were watching me walk away. So I made a deal. I'd finish the semester, then go to Lagos during the break. I thought I could do both. I was wrong. Lagos was a beast. Fast, loud, unforgiving. But I loved it. I slept in a shared apartment with 5 other interns. Sometimes we ate only once a day. But I was learning from the best. I was editing, shooting, directing. I even got my name in the credits of a web series. Then one day, my mom called. My dad had collapsed at work. I rushed home. It was a mild stroke. Not fatal, but serious enough that he had to quit working. My mother was tired. She was now taking care of both my father and my brother, who had just started SS2. That night, she looked at me and said, I don't care about your dreams right now. We need you here. This family needs you. And then she added something that haunted me. You're chasing the world, while your home is falling apart. Her words hit me like a storm. I couldn't move. I just sank into a quiet ocean of thoughts, unable to escape what they meant. I spent days thinking. I had offers waiting for me in Lagos, even a chance to travel to South Africa for a film festival, all expenses paid. But my family was drowning. My brother was slipping in school. My mother looked older than her age. And my dad? He could barely walk without help. I was 22, and I had to choose, dream or family. I made my decision at 3:17 a.m. I remember the exact time. I was staring at a script I was supposed to submit in 2 days. I closed the file, packed my laptop, and walked into my mother's room. I'm staying, I said. I got a local teaching job to help with bills, took care of my father during the day, helped my brother with school at night. Months turned into a year. Offers stopped coming. People in Lagos moved on. I stopped writing, stopped filming, stopped dreaming. And then, one day, I saw my old short film reposted by a famous YouTuber in the US. It had over 3 million views. And my name, my real name, was in the credits. The comment section was filled with people asking, where is the director now? This guy should be in Hollywood. Why did he stop making films? I stared at that screen for 45 minutes. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But I just sat there, silent, watching the blinking cursor like it held the answer to a question I hadn't dared to ask. "You're a ghost now, aren't you?" My younger brother stood by the doorway, arms crossed, eyes older than they should have been. "Everyone's asking where you are, but I know the real answer. You're stuck here, between two worlds. Not really in one, not really in the other." I didn't respond. What was there to say? A month later, I was standing in the dusty corridor of the same secondary school I had once attended, but this time as Mr. Ayatund, basic technology teacher. Kids ran past me, laughing. One of them tripped, dropped his bag, and a folded-up storyboard spilled out. I froze. It was pencil-sketched, crude, but I saw it, a story, a beginning, a dream. I knelt beside the boy. "What's this?" He stammered. "It's nothing, sir. Just something I draw. Sometimes." "You want to make films?" He nodded shyly, and in that moment, something stirred inside me, like an ember buried under ash. "Mummy, I'm thinking of starting a film club in the school." She looked up from the sink. Her hands paused in the soapy water. "Is that wise? I won't leave. I won't neglect anyone. I just want to teach others what I once knew." She nodded slowly. "Then teach them well." The club began with 6 students, then 10. By term's end, we were 25 strong, making skits with borrowed phones and voiceovers recorded under blankets. We used cartons for props and built tripods from mop sticks. And one afternoon, we screened our first short film in the assembly hall. Parents came, teachers came, even the principal came. When the credits rolled, and my name appeared under mentor and director, the applause didn't stop. My mother was in the back, wiping her eyes. Later that week, I got a DM on Instagram from @Adedare Films. Subject: "We saw your student's short film. Beautifully done. Would love to speak about a project with you. A school-based web series. Co-director role. Part-time. Let us know if you're interested." I read it twice, then again, then again. "Ayo," my brother called from the other room. "Come help Dad with his walking exercises." I stared at the message, and then I typed, "Can we schedule a call this Friday evening?" That Friday, I sat outside in the backyard. The sky was bruised orange, the air sticky and still. My phone buzzed. "Ayo, finally," said the voice. Warm, excited. "We loved what you did with those kids. Raw, honest, real. Exactly what Nollywood needs more of." I found myself smiling, genuinely, for the first time in a long time. But as the offer became clearer, money, credits, visibility, my stomach twisted again. There it was, that same choice. The dream whispering, "Come," and the home murmuring, "Stay." "You're scared, aren't you?" my father said that night. He was sitting up now, leaning on his cane. I blinked. Of what? Of becoming something again. Of stepping out. "I can't leave you all." Who said anything about leaving? Maybe it's time we all step forward together. So I took the part-time offer. Shot scenes on weekends. Edited at night. Still taught tech classes in the day. And slowly, piece by piece, the ghost came back to life. 1 year later, the school film club was nominated for a Youth Impact Award. A young girl in JSS 2 stood on the national stage and said, "I want to be like Mr. Ayo, because he saw me, because he never stopped dreaming, even when he gave up his dreams." But the biggest surprise came after the ceremony. A woman in heels and a red jumpsuit approached me. "Ayo Ayatund?" "Yes." She extended a business card. "Netflix Nigeria Original Films Division. Let's talk." And in that moment, every path I never walked seemed to bend in the distance, leading back toward me. But the question still lingered. Was I ready to choose again? "Let's talk," she said again, her tone both casual and calculated. The kind that made you wonder what she already knew about you. I took the card, my fingers brushing the bold letters like they might vanish if I blinked. Netflix Nigeria, Original Films Division, Development Lead Amaka Ejiofor. That night, I sat on my rooftop, the metal sheets still radiating the afternoon heat. The city hummed around me, distant laughter, generator buzz, a car alarm echoing like a stubborn memory. I stared at the card again. What if this is it? I whispered to the night. What if this is the second chance I thought would never come? The call was set for 3 p.m. the next Thursday. I cleaned the sitting room, trimmed my beard, wore my best shirt even though it was just Zoom. The screen blinked, then lit up. Ayo! Amaka's face beamed. I watched Rough Roads, that short you made with your students. It felt like Lagos met poetry. I smiled. Thank you. They're brilliant kids. They are, she agreed, then leaned forward. But let's talk about you. The offer was surreal. A limited series, set in a small Nigerian town. A story about a boy who wants to be a filmmaker, whose dreams clash with tradition, family, and fate. Loosely inspired by your journey, Amaka said, eyes gleaming. We want you to write the pilot and co-direct it. It'll be developed under our New Voices Rising initiative. My throat dried up. I swallowed. How much time would I have? 3 months. But we'll support you. Writer's room, editors, full team. 3 months, 90 days. That was the time I'd once given up for my family. Now it was being offered back to me. Like life or fate was asking, what will you do this time? That night I gathered my family. We sat on plastic chairs under the mango tree in our yard. The air smelled of burnt plantain and kerosene. I have something to tell you, I said, voice steady. Netflix wants me to help create a series. About us. About dreams. About choices. My mother blinked slowly. My father leaned on his cane. My brother looked up from his phone. They'll pay me. It's part-time for now. I can still teach. Still be here. Silence. Then my father chuckled. They finally saw what we always tried to ignore. My mother nodded. Her voice cracked. Go. Make it. But don't lose yourself again. And so I began. By day, I taught about fuses and circuits. By night, I built characters, crafted scenes, cried into blank pages. I wrote about a boy named Tund, a dreamer, a wanderer, a storm of light. One day, a letter came from Durban International Film Festival. Subject, invitation to submit New Voices Showcase. They'd seen Rough Roads too. I didn't apply. Someone, maybe Amaka, had submitted it. My heart raced. At the airport, my mother hugged me so tightly I couldn't breathe. Come back with your name in lights, not your soul in shadows, she whispered. My brother grinned. Bring me a South African hoodie or don't come back at all. Durban smelled like salt and mango wine. The screening hall buzzed with languages I didn't understand but emotions I did. And when the credits rolled, when directed by Ayatunde Kani lit up the screen, the applause wasn't just for the film. It was for the boy who stayed, and somehow still rose. But here's the twist. Backstage, I met a man in a tan blazer. You're the Nigerian boy who went quiet for 2 years, huh? I turned. Excuse me? You were supposed to intern under my studio in Joburg. 2020. You disappeared. My breath caught. That offer. The one I turned down. The one I never replied to. I had to stay home. He nodded, then reached into his coat pocket. Well, here's another chance. If you want it. A black folder. South Africa, Cape Town Film Residency. Full sponsorship. And so again. The dream whispered, louder now. But this time I didn't feel torn. Because I wasn't choosing between family and dream. I was choosing for both.